Hey guys, Morgan's Maintenance, episode 7 of Guess the Trades today. Seems like these are moving super fast. Already on episode 7. Seems like we just started these. But before we get into those new loadouts today, let's talk about episode 6. We had Psylocke the Defiled. He told me that he was in HVAC as far as in the comment section below that video. So that's what I guessed during the video. So it turns out I was right. I know several of you agreed with me on that as well, so we did a pretty good job with that one. Yeet Plays, he said in the comments that he is an apprentice residential electrician, but that he also does HVAC work and then some handyman work on the side, so that's what he said he did with his tools. And then as far as while I'm filming this one a little bit earlier because the weather's supposed to get bad. Roberto Jimenez, in the comment section below, he did make some comments, but I never seen him specifically say what it was he did. But in his email to me with his photos, he told me he owns some property, so he does property maintenance, but then he also does some remodels and repairs. So I guess property maintenance / handyman. So that's the 3 that we looked at last week. Hopefully you guessed pretty well. I know several people were right in line with that. So that's what we looked at last week. Now in episode 7, we're going to look at 3 more. We have the house that Hulk built, we have Tomlin 03, and then we have P. That's about as easy as, I don't think I'm going to mispronounce that one. That's about as easy as it gets. So those are the 3 loadouts we're going to look at today. I think that they all have Vito bags. I think there's a Vito Tech MC, maybe a TP6B, also a Tech Pack, and then a TPLC that we're going to look at. So all Vito bags today. Some really good loadouts, but let's go ahead and jump into those. And again, the first one we're going to look at is the house that Hulk built. Let's take a look at what his tools look like. So here's the outside of his bag. It's the Vito Tech Pack. And again, he doesn't have these blown out. He kind of has some semi-blown out pictures, so we'll have to pay more attention to the tools in his bag. Has a hammer on the side, lots of colors of electrical tape. That usually throws you into a Sparky electrician side of things as far as to guess. Klein magnetizer, demagnetizer, tape measure over there. Go to the next picture. Here's all his tools in the business side of his bag. He also has a couple Klein torpedo levels in that pouch. I think he has these kind of pulled out a little bit here in a minute, but just to give you an idea to look at his setup on that one, we'll stay on that for just a few seconds because I like the way that he's got his pliers arranged in here. You can see each one, you know what they are for the most part, and then it allows you to be able to pull those out. This is kind of the same way I keep mine in my Tech MCT as well. Let's go ahead and go to the next picture, though, because I think he's got some of these pulled out. Yeah, there we go. He's got several. We'll start up here in this top left corner. I believe those are the step cuts in the top left. I could be wrong on that. That's what they look like, and it looks like he likes the comfort grip handles. Also got a pair of pliers wrench. He's got the electrical installation pliers. So those only have 10 to 12 gauge on them, but I really love those. But the weird thing to me is that they cost more money than the forged wire strippers that I think go from 10 to 20, maybe 10 to 18. I can't remember. Don't hold me to that. You'd have to look it up for sure. But my recommendation is always, because the forged wire strippers are cheaper, you get the screw cutting function, you get bigger pliers that are more like linesmen's, you get more gauges that you can strip with that. It's worth it to me to get the forged wire strippers. If I only picked one, I get that question asked all the time, hey, which one should I get? But if you only do 10 and 12 gauge wire a lot, like you're a residential electrician, you might want to look into getting you a pair of those, because I would rather use those over the forged wire strippers if they're going to strip everything that I need it to. But again, I think the forged wire strippers are more bang for your buck. But let's go ahead and keep looking at his tools. So he got the forged wire strippers right there next to it with the dipped handles. I just picked those up. I've always had the comfort grip ones, but I finally did get me a pair of the dip grips. He's got the angled diagonal cutters, I think. Those are my favorite diagonal cutters as well. Can't tell quite what that one is. That might be the cable shear. And then over here he's got another pair of strippers of some kind. Couple pairs of Cobras, probably the 10-inch and the 7 1/4. That's both the 2 pairs that I like to run. Lots of pass-through nut drivers. I don't know what brand that is. It looks like possibly Klein handles, but it could be something else. A smaller pair of pliers wrench down here, along with a stud finding magnetic ball to find the drywall screws. Also has the angled cobalt type cutters or bolt cutters down there from Knipex. So the house that Hulk built is obviously a Knipex fan, because he's also got Lyman's pliers, needle nose, more diagonals over here insulated. Does have some Klein tool snips. I've never seen Klein's version of those in any of my stores, so I didn't even know that they made those. And then he's got looks like to be a conduit reamer down there, along with the flip socket, and he's made it out of the super screwdriver with the bit holding stuff going on over there. So lots of Knipex tools in that bag right there on that side. Let's go to the next picture. This is the back side of the bag. He's got a Pika 3030, it looks like. Also a Vera, looks like a one with a hammer where you can use a hammer on it, the 932A. He's got the Weehaw, maybe that's that Pocket Max. I've been looking into getting that Weehaw Pocket Max. It's $44, holds bits. It looks like the bits also have the slim tips on it. I just wish it came with a square, but I think I can buy a square number 1 and number 2 separate and swap it out inside of there for maybe something that I'm not going to use. But that's been in my Amazon wish list for quite some time. I think it's a good price to be able to save space like what he has in his bag right here. One screwdriver doing all those things. That's if that's what screwdriver that is. I'm not real sure, but let me know if you've got that Weehaw Pocket Max. Several of you have already suggested it to me, but if you've got that, let me know what you think about it in the comments below. I'm pretty interested in that. But getting back at his tools, he's also got the Knipex electrician shears, another pair of Cobras back there. Looks like maybe a center punch. Klein tools, little pouch over here that looks similar to the insulated screwdriver set from Klein tools that I have, so that might be what that is, because I don't think he's got these blown out later. Also has a MC cable cutter, some Vera screwdrivers, some Milwaukee, I believe those are insulated screwdrivers. Yeah, they say 1000 volt up there on the top. He's got the Klein tools crimper, also the Klein tools automatic stripper right there, and then a Stanley Fat Max 25-foot tape measure with the magnetic end on it. And then let's go to the next picture. Looks like that's pretty much the same thing, and I believe that this is the last picture, but I don't see anything new there that I'm missing. Yeah, that's the last picture. So going back and looking at his pictures, take a look at those. I'm going to stop on that, business side of the bag when we get to it, but take a look at the back side of his bag one more time, and then look at that one right there. And then let us know in the comments below what you think about the house that Hulk built. It's definite to me, anyways, would be my guess. And again, he didn't tell me, so that's why I'm going to go ahead and guess on this one. It's definitely an electrician to me. He's got all the tools. To me, he's got several pairs of strippers. To me, the conduit reamer, the MC cable cutter. That's one of those things that why would you have that unless you're doing a lot of MC cable? And that's going to put you in that range of being an electrician of some kind. All the different color electric tapes, go on and on and on with it. Now, the question would be, what do you think, what type of electrician do you think he is? Commercial, industrial, residential? What line of work do you think he primarily works in? I'm going to say commercial is going to be my guess. And again, I don't know that for sure, but go ahead and comment down below what you think the house that Hulk built does with these tools in his line of work, and hopefully we'll all get the right answers. Or if you've got some questions for him about tools, go ahead and put that in the comments down below as well. But let's go ahead and get into the second loadout that we're going to look at today, which is Tomlin 03. I believe his name is Jeremy, if I remember right from the email that he sent me, but he's got two bags. He's got a Vitotech MCT and then also a TP6B. And we're going to look at both of those, and he's got blowouts of both of those, so we won't spend as much time in the bags, but we'll look at the tools whenever they're all spread out and take a look at those from there. So let's go ahead and look at Tomlin 03's photos. So looking at the first picture, he's basically showing us how he fits both these bags into his utility part of his truck. So again, we're going to go through these fairly quickly, but maybe you can look at this background stuff. That might give you a key of what maybe he's using. Looks like he's got some Klein canvas bags up there as well, but level and lights and things like that. But he's got the Tech MCT right here, and then he also has the TP6B. I'm pretty sure that's what that one is. That's a newer bag from Vito last year, and he's keeping them both in his truck like that. We go to the next picture. He's showing you that you have 9.5 inches of space, and then he's able to fit both those bags in there. So again, maybe you've got a utility truck and you're wondering what bags would fit in your truck. You could use these in that case, and you know how much room that you have. Next picture, here's his TP6B. And again, just look at his loadout, how he has it loaded out. We'll look at the tools in just a little bit. He's got an M12 Driver over here looks like it's probably just the regular impact. I don't see the surge on there. And then again, he's got Nebo light, couple lights, couple screwdrivers, things like that. I'm assuming he probably uses this as his grab bag. Going to the next picture, here's this side and what all he keeps in there as far as how he's got it loaded out. Now we'll go to the other side, I believe it is. Tape measure, light, glove clips, and gloves. And then here's the picture of this TP6B blown out. So up here at the top, he's got a hole saw and also some drill bits. There's the bag empty. He's got his gloves. Now let's go over here. He's got a utility knife. Again, he's also got an M12 impact, Milwaukee 16-foot magnetic tape measure, couple different nut drivers, a bit holder, red and blue ink saw, some Klein or some Knipex lineman pliers. He's got a couple Klein screwdrivers, some slotted, and then also a Vera screwdriver as well. And then it looks like a Klein 11-in-1, and then a Nebo light. I've not heard of that brand. Looks like Southwire torpedo level. He's got a Railer bit rail, and then back there, look at that Railer bit rail. His little loop is broken. I've had several people comment to me, not several, but a few that have said, hey, my clip is broke just like that in a matter of no time. And honestly, none of mine have really broken that way, but a buddy of mine that I work around, he bought some and his did that. And just a little heads up, if that happens to you, I suggested to him that he take a zip tie. You'll lose one bit, but just run you a zip tie through one of the bit holders that's close to that loop and get rid of that loop. That'll at least make it to where you can keep using it. But let me know in the comments below how well railers, because I know a lot of you have bought Railer bit rails over the course of time since I've had videos and things like that. How has your experience been with those? So far, mine's been good. I haven't really used the bits that much. The ones that I have used have been fine, but for the most part, I've always taken the bits out and made my own bit sets. But I'm interested in feedback on that because I get questions on them, and then sometimes I just give people, I tell them what my experience is, but then I can also say, but I've had several people tell me this about them as well. I think that that's always helpful. So let me know in the comments below what you've thought about Railer bit rails, if you've bought any of those, or if you've had any issues with them like it looks like Tomlin 03 has here. So let's go ahead and get back into these. He's got, again, another hole saw there, some Milwaukee tongue and groove pliers. I've never been a real big fan of those, to be honest with you. I can't get quite a grip on things with those. Now that maybe it's only because I've used Knipex Cobras, which he has right here beside it, but I just absolutely hate these Milwaukee tongue and groove pliers now. So here he's got the Knipex Forge wire strippers, and I will say he's got the comfort grip handles. And just to give you all a heads up, and again, I'm just kind of saying this, is that I just got the dip grip handles, which, as if you've watched my videos for very long, that's my preferred handle. I've been wanting the Forge wire strippers in those, but it does seem like to me that my dip grip handles don't open up as far as the comfort grip handles as far as to use the cutter. I'm able to, I can still cut MC cable, but it's like I've got to actually spread them open a little bit more than what they want to do. Versus my comfort grip handles, it's just been like it was nothing. So just take that in consideration maybe whenever you're buying a pair. I think personally the comfort grip ones open a little better. Maybe it's only my pair of dip grip, but just keep that in mind if you're deciding on buying a pair of those. He also has that Milwaukee light that we've all talked about many times, that we really like that light, and then he's got some hex keys right there. So that's his TP6B loadout, so take one look at that before we go into the next picture, which I believe is we're going to start looking at his Tech MCT bag. Here is the outside of his bag. And then we'll scroll to the next one, which is the inside of that business end of the bag. Or this one, yeah, I believe this is that business side. If it's this side right here, that's what I call it. So he's got the heavy-duty multi. He looks like a 7/16 Klein screwdriver, but he's got these blown out, so let's not go ahead and pay too much attention to that right now. So here's his setup on this side of the bag in case you need to learn something from that. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. Now we'll scroll to the next one, which is the back side of the bag. Looks like he's got some ratchet wrenches, some sockets, his meter, probably a pair of snips and things like that in there, but look at how he's got that set up. And the one thing about the MCT versus the MCT Blackout, so if I was to go buy one today, I would suggest the MCT Blackout because you can see these front pouches up here, or the front, like the covers, when you open them, the MCT Blackout has pouches right there, and that's worth it to me for the difference. But go ahead and looking at one of the sides over here now, Pica pencil, tape measure, railer bit rail. He's used a carabiner there to fix his issue, and he's putting it through that first bit hole, just like what I said you could do with the zip tie as well. So if you've had that happen to you, that's a really good fix for it, in my opinion. So Tomlin already knew that. He's also got that over there. We'll go to the other side, flashlight, glove holder, a couple drill bits, and a bit holder. And then the next picture will be the last one, and it's the blowout of his Tech MCT. So we'll go up here to top corner, tape measure, 25-foot magnetic, Klein 11-in-1 Phillips screwdriver. That's the 7/16 nut driver. A bunch of probably hex-in keys on sockets so that he can put it on a ratchet. He's got a couple of ratcheting screwdrivers, a Fluke multimeter. I can't really tell what the number is on that. Going on over to here, he's got his 3/8 flex head ratchet, it looks like. Also another Klein screwdriver, a demo screwdriver back in the back probably, or a file. That might be a file back there. Some angled snips, bit holders, pair of needle nose, a square Klein screwdriver, again a conduit reamer, the cobalt cutters from Knipex. I really think that those are great. Those are a good tool to have. They're expensive, but man, they will cut screws and everything else. I've got a video for that if you want to see what all it will cut. But those, for as small as those things are, there's not much that I put them up against that they don't cut. Now, I'm not saying that I've probably cut some things that you're not supposed to cut with them, but as far as cutting screws or, you know, wire of some kind that's, you know, a heavier gauge like a fencing wire or something like that, those work really well if you're interested in those. They're so compact and small, it amazes you how much that they can cut at such a small size. He's got a pair of linesmans there, also a pair of crimpers, another slotted screwdriver there, Pica 3030. He's got a torpedo level, Milwaukee strippers. I can't, Wago something down there. That's probably one of those little lever. I don't have one of those, but I've seen them on Amazon. Security bit set, different nut drivers and bit holders there, a pair of diagonals, ink pen, channel lock pliers, Knipex alligators, thermostat screwdriver, another flashlight. Looks like that's a stream light. Small pair of Knipex pliers, wrench as well, and I think I've got everything on there. But that's his MCT blown out, so take a look at those tools. And then now I'll go back to that TP6B, which will be probably his grab bag basically, so he's probably using these tools more often. So take a look at those, and then guess down below what it is you think Tomlin 03 does with those tools. If you got any questions for him, put those in the comments down below as well. I'm interested in that TP6B. Maybe that's going to be another, again, the spring promotions around the corner. I think that's what they were giving away free last year. So I don't know that they'll do it again, but maybe they will. So give us your feedback, what you think about that TP6B. To me, it looks a whole lot like the TPLC, except for it doesn't have that cover. I like the cover personally a little bit better than just having it open, because I can still take my cover on the LC and flip it to the back and have it open if I want to, but I also have the option to cover it if I like. But I know that there's some like V-swap panels or something in that 6B that's not in the LC as well that might be what would push you towards that. But let me know how you feel about that TP6B in case that's the free option in the spring promotion. That way I'd kind of know if maybe that's something that I want to get or not. So, but again, that's Tomlin 03. Let us know what you think he does with these tools below. And now let's get into the last loadout, which is P. He's got a TPLC. Again, one of my favorite small bags that I bought so far, even though it's currently not in the rotation of my tool bags at the moment. It's still my favorite little bag of Vitos that I bought so far, and I really want to get back into using it. I just haven't decided how I'm going to use it yet, but it's a very good bag. But let's go ahead and start out by looking at his tools. And again, he has these blown out at the end, but we'll start with this bag. We'll work our way to that blowout, and then we'll take a guess at what we think he does with those tools. But let's get into his tools. So starting out, there's the outside of his bag. Got the 16-foot Milwaukee. Again, I'm pretty sure it's the TPLC anyways. I might be guessing on that, but that's what it looks like to me. I don't think it's the XL because the pouches on the side are a little bit bigger. He also runs the Makita. I believe in his email he told me he was testing that out at the moment to see if he liked it. So he's got the Makita. It looks like a XGT 40 volt. So if you've got any input on that, again, I think he told me he was trying it out in his email. Go ahead and give him some comments below on what you think about that if you've got that tool. Here's one of the sides of his bag. He has the M12, and he did tell me it was the Surge. You can't really tell in the pictures because he's got a Jersey Discount Tool Company boot on it, along with on the battery that you can see there. And he's got a bit check in this side, along with the Purdy scraper, and then a Pica pencil, Klein knife, Fisker's knife, and then a few other things that maybe we'll see whenever it gets blown out in just a little bit. Next picture, here's this side. Looks like a bit holder, along with a snap-on tool of some sort, and then a snap-on one of those lamps that you put around your neck. I'm sure that that's probably a pretty pricey thing. Most snap-on things are pretty expensive, but that is probably a pretty nice light to carry. As far as you could just throw it around your neck. It's kind of like having a headlamp, which I'm not really a big fan of anymore now that I've got the Olight lights and the Woobin lights where I just clip it onto my hat. That's been a revelation to me because I've always hated wearing a headlamp, because one is you can't hardly put it on a hat in this configuration right here. I wear a hat all the time, so then I have to turn my hat around, put on a headlamp and all those things, versus the lights just work better for me. But this one might be pretty interesting where you could just wear it around your neck and then have it shine wherever you want to. So I'm interested in the feedback on the Snap-on 1P. What do you think about it? Or if any of you guys out there have another version of something like that. I think maybe Milwaukee might even have one. I'm not real sure. I could be wrong on that, but I think I've seen it before. If you've had those lights and you've had a headlamp, or you've had one that clips onto your hat, what is your preferred method of basically personal lighting while you're working so that you can have both hands free? Drop that in the comments down below. Next picture we get into, there's the inside of his bag. Again, just looking at the setup, because he's got these blown out in a little bit. Just look and see how he's got his tools kind of fit in there to give you an idea of how many tools that you can fit in the bag or how easy they are to get out. Looks like he's got a Skill electric screwdriver, some Vera tools, maybe a Vessel tool, some Knipex, several different things, a Snap-on magnet mat up there in the front as well. But we'll go ahead and go to the next picture. Here's the back side. Looks like he's got a speed square. Looks like possibly Milwaukee strippers. He's got some Teflon tape, some bit holders over here as well. And then also looks like maybe a right angle adapter, but again, we'll see it here in this next picture. So here's the blowout. Here's all the tools that are in that little bag. So again, the TPLC is a small bag, but look at what all you can fit in there. So again, there's the Snap-on light, the Vera magnetizer, demagnetizer, a couple punches, Inkzall, flashlight. He's got the Klein flip socket, looks like a punch of some kind, some bits. It is this trim square that he had in there, not a 7 1/4. Again, some of that goop. We've seen that in a couple different loadouts. Milwaukee strippers, some Pica lead. He's got the Jersey Discount Tool Company, again, boot on there. Let us know what your feedback is on that P, how well you like that, because you go to get the Surge. I've had the boot on mine since I bought it, but I bought the Milwaukee one, and it actually didn't say that it fit the Surge. It fit the 1/4 inch, like regular impact, and I just bought it to see if it would fit the Surge because they look like they was exactly the same, and it did. But those are getting harder to buy now because now that they've got new generations of impacts, they don't really make any more of those, so unless you find an old one. But maybe Jersey Discount Tool Company has more of these in stock to where you can get them. So let us know your feedback on that one. What do you think about that boot from Jersey Discount Tool Company, P? What do you think about that? I bought a few things from them over the course of time. They seem like a pretty decent company to buy from. But again, getting back to his tools, there's that Makita drill as well, or Makita Impact. Pica pencil 3030, that Snap-on tool that he had probably sticking down in the side of his thing. Looks like that was a magnet. The Purdy scraper, that's the foldable one. The Fisker's knife, the Klein knife. He's got Milwaukee, made in the USA, needle nose, the Knipex 10 inch, and then 7 1/4 pliers wrench, and then 10 inch, and actually that's a 10 inch and a 12 inch Knipex Cobras. Klein non-contact voltage tester. He's got the rigid one-stop wrench. That's something that I bought recently based on y'all's suggestions. The Vera slotted, the vessel ratcheting with the bit holder. That's one of the vessels that I haven't got yet that many people suggested to me. And then I think, is this the vessel, maybe it's called the Megadora or something like that, that gray one there. I've only bought their ball grips. I haven't bought any other of their screwdrivers. Another Vera slotted, and then he's got the Klein offset, lock nut wrenches, the Vera Tool Check Plus, some Milwaukee bits, snap-on magnetic pads. So those, I'm not sure how much they cost, but I bought the railer of that very, very small one, and then I bought the railer longer one, and they're expensive too, in my opinion, for what you get, but they work really well. So what's your experience been with the snap-on ones? And then maybe I'll try to find them to look up and see what the price is to compare the snap-on to the railer. But I think, to me, those magnetic mats, because they don't scratch things, you know, you take a parts bin in somewhere that's just got the big magnet and it's a metal bowl or something, there's certain things that if you put that on, you might accidentally scratch something, versus these do a very good job, and they're foldable, like you can kind of put them over curved surfaces. So I'm not saying that you need to get the snap-on or the railer. I've got the railer, I really like them, but you might want to look into finding yourself a magnetic mat like that and maybe put it into your line of work if you don't have one of those yet. I have found it to be pretty useful. So he's also got some Vera Jokers. I don't have any of them as well. A Skil electric screwdriver. I've seen several people using this one. I haven't tried that one out. So you can give us some feedback on that one too, P, if you can. What do you think about that one? Has that worked out well for you? Here's the Weehaw diagonals with that push button to get you some extra leverage. I haven't tried that out either. A Milwaukee knife sharpener, and I believe we've covered all of them. And I think this is his last picture. Yeah, it is for sure. So there's all his tools. Take another look at these, see what it is that you think. And then again, comment down below, what is it that you think P does with these tools? Or if you've got questions like I do, how about that Jersey Discount tool company? It's hard for me to say that company for some reason. What do you think about their boot? And then also, what do you think about that snap-on mats and your snap-on headlamp? Have those been something that you've, or not a headlamp, neck lamp, I guess you want to call it. Have those been something that you're glad that you paid the snap-on price for? Have they been extremely useful to you? Let us know that in the comments below for myself, but maybe you all have some questions for him. Go ahead and drop them in the comments down there below, along with your guess of what it is that you think he does with these tools. But that's the 3 loadouts that we're going to look at today. So again, I hope that you all enjoy this series. I really like looking at people's loadouts. Again, these are probably some that we would never see in a YouTube video. There's all kinds of loadout videos out there. I spend a lot of time watching them, but it's definitely interesting to see some folks that we would probably never see. And again, we get to learn things about how to set up a bag, certain tools that we don't know what they are, just all kinds of things like that. And I just think it's interesting to try to guess what somebody does with their tools. So hope it was useful in some way, guys. Let me know in the comments below what you think these folks do with their tools. But as always, you guys stay safe. Have a blessed day. See you on the next video.